Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Monday. Boy, I tell you what, the markets the bears are out there and they are mauling people right now. Just amazingly bad in terms of the market. I think it's actually going to get worse. I'm not a negative Nelly, but we're going to be looking at methods that we can use to combat this a little bit. So the Dow Industrials fell today about 1%, and just looking tough out there. Let's jump on over and take a look at the S&P 500. Let's kind of look at assess the. All right, hopefully. Yep, there we go. We're back. Sometimes we have a little bit of trouble with that. Okay, I'm going to go to kind of share the screen here. My screen. This is for the this is for the S&P 500, and so let's click it over here for everybody looking out on TikTok. I'll flip that over. Great. Okay, so basically, what's going on here with the market is you can see. Wow, we are down again today. We were down on Friday. We rallied a little bit, down again, and right now we're about 3,800 on the S&P. The question is, where do I think that is going? Well, I think what's going to happen here is we are going to go a little bit further down. What's significant about this is that if you look at this, let's take some of that off. I have my notes on here, so what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of these um, so you don't have to see my markups. But basically, what's happening here is that we made a new low, and this is significant because we went through resistance here, and so unfortunately, I think that we are going lower. And the question is, how low would we go? Well, I don't know, obviously, but I think I think 38, 3,600 on the Dow is very, very likely. So I think that we got to be very careful here. And right now, everybody, I am net short. I mean, I am basically short the market, and I don't have any long positions. I'm all in cash, and I know that's kind of weird, but that's sort of how I'm looking at it. Wanted to also show you some stuff here. Kind of basically the Dow sold off, and we're down about 1.1% on the Dow. We dropped about 1%. The Nasdaq not down quite as much, but the Russell was off about 1.4%. So we are definitely down on this. Here's what I am doing to combat this. Of course, I shorted a stock today. It's Lululemon. You're probably familiar with it. Let's. I wanted to give you a kind of a look see here. Let's look at Lulu here. And this one I did short. Now I did short basically on a day basis on Friday, both Costco and Lennar, but I closed those shorts. They bounced a little bit today. I'm going to be looking possibly to short them once again. Um, but I did short Lululemon here, and kind of an interesting thing. It did move up just a tad, and then it's looking like it's moving lower. Where I shorted Lulu was basically, let's see, let's bring that up. I noted this on the screen, so there we go. All righty, so there we go. So where I shorted was 296.52. We're at 294. So we're starting to make a move in the right direction. I definitely think that with Lulu, we've lost support at that critical 50-day line. And even though we did have some buying come back in, it's less than the average. So hopefully we're going to see this thing move lower. That's what I believe here. We shall see. It's always interesting, but showing you the chart here, basically what happened is this is breaking down. We're going to get it rallying up here to the 50-day line, but this one I shorted, and we're actually up on the short a little bit, not a lot. We shorted at 296, so we're about up $2 on this short as we go forward. So hopefully that'll work out. Basically, why did I do it? Well, the reason I did it, of course, was because it was falling through this 50-day moving average here, and that's kind of not a good thing. And so I do think that it's lost its support here. It's a very expensive stock, and I do think it's very likely to go lower. We'll see what happens on it anyways. Here are some sector leaders. So there were some things that were up today, believe it or not. There were some shares that were up today. Nothing that I own, but I wanted to show you this little thing here. Very interesting. In-phase energy took it hard on the chin. It was down a little bit. Comstock Resources. This is in the first group. These were down. That there was some movement up in Catalyst Pharma and CCRN. Those were up. I don't recommend buying this because I do think that the trend right now, at least for right now, is a downward trend. We're in a trend. So the best position to be in right now is all in cash or potentially short. So really buying anything long here is probably not a great idea. It's probably not a great idea to be long here just because the market is so bad. The market is so bad. So we're going to have to be shorting basically to make money here. So let's take a look. I love stock market crashes. This is Toolman 1995. There actually are some pretty good opportunities here, believe it or not, when the market gets bad. And I'm going to try to, in the next few sessions, next few weeks, I'm going to be trying to show you sort of how I'm dealing with it. Basically, I'm in all cash and I'm short. And the only thing I'm short currently is Lululemon, LULU. That I am short. So what do we mean by short? Well, in order to do a short, you have to have what they call a level 3 options account, which I do have. And then what you do is you borrow the shares. Now I use TD Ameritrade for this because they're very good. It's easy to borrow their shares. You borrow the shares and then you immediately sell them, and then you set a buy stop limit order to cover your short. You want to cover your shorts closer than you cover for a long. A long you don't want to let it get more than 7% down before you close it. You want to take your loss at 7%. With a short, you want to keep it to 5%. So, for instance, this particular one, we shorted basically this one at Lulu at 296 62. And so where we're going to close this uh, if this were to go up to 311, we would close it at 311. Actually, I actually have my stop even tighter than that. My stop on this one on the short is at 302. So it's even tighter than I normally would have this one. So kind of kind of kind of strange there. All right, let's take a question from Christine. Thank you very much. She is interested in Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. Now, I am not long Tesla. I've been out on in this market. Tough to buy Tesla right now, so not necessarily not a time you wanna probably be long Tesla here, but let's take a look at the stock anyways and, kinda go through it here. Let's look at Tesla, okay, TSLA, alright, TSLA, there we go. Alright, Tesla. Alright, it had a little bit of a dead cat bounce today, not much, um, and this just isn't something that I think you want to be long right now, based on what I'm seeing in this market. So I think you just kind of got to sit there and watch list this. Now I am not shorting Tesla, and part of the reason I'm not shorting is because my brokerage for shorting TD Ameritrade just isn't allowing anyone to borrow the shares. Now, normally I would be short here. Normally I would borrow some shares and then sell, but I'm not doing that right now. Why? Because they're not letting us. They're not letting us. So, and the options are overpriced. So basically, with Tesla, I just think you need to be very, very careful here. If you are long Tesla, please cut your losses. If you lose 7% on this, and there's a lot of reasons for this, but um, I just think that right now, tough time to be looking to be in Tesla. Just a tough time, not giving us a whole lot of opportunities here. So I just think you just got to be super careful and just not do anything. And that's the hardest thing to do in this market. We are going to go lower, and so it's just one of those. It's just definitely one of those things. Definitely, I agree with you, Jake. This is Jake from TikTok. The market sucks, absolutely. Well, it sucks if you are long, but if you're short, it's one of the best times. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the market. Whenever the market moves to a market in correction like this, there's a lot of opportunities to make money, and that is by shorting. So stay tuned to this channel, and I'm going to try to go over, what is required to short it and make money in the market. Now, I did make a little bit of money on Friday shorting Costco and Lennar. Let's take a look at those two, just for fun. Let's look at Costco now. Costco, I did close the short. You don't want to hold a short over the weekend. I closed my short basically right at the bell on Friday, but I think that it's going to give us some other opportunities here. Now, why would I, you say, Jim, why would you short something like Costco? It's a leader. Absolutely, it is a leader. But typically, the best shorts were former longs, were the best longs. So, what happened today? If you'll notice, and I don't know if you can see this, but we came all the way down. We came down. We broke down below that 50-day moving average, and you notice how the 50-day line is coming up to the 200-day line. We broke that, and then today we rallied, but the rally was relatively weak. So let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. Let's just see kind of what we're talking about here with Costco, because I think this might give us another opportunity to potentially short. So let's get that rid of that. There we go. So hopefully this is going to give us another opportunity to short the market. Notice how it went up today, boom, and then it came up right up here to 285, lost its way, and then people are starting to sell off. So no stock goes down straight down, but rather they kind of move down sort of like with steps. So let's look at the 30-minute chart on Costco. And I can show you this. There we go. Okay. So yesterday, on Friday, you can see there's Friday. Basically, as it came here, I shorted here, and then I bought it back. Basically, as it came down, I bought it back here. Then we've rallied today. I'm going to be probably now. The ideal time, of course, would be wait to let this go up and buy it there. Now, I think we'll probably get a little bit of a bump here. I'm waiting for another opportunity for Costco to sort of rally to about 285. That's where I'll probably short it if I get another chance. If I get another chance on it. Another one that I have been kind of interested in is Lennar, because the home builders have been very, very weak, and this may give us some opportunity to make a little bit of money here too. Now, today we kind of fell off we kind of fell off the bandwagon. Where I shorted yesterday on over here was basically I bought here and then I shorted here. And why? Um, because it moved up. Now, if this thing reverses and moves above about 74 or 75, that's probably where I'm going to short this one again. And the reason is this. Let's look at the chart overall. Look at the daily chart. As you can see, it's kind of trying to hang on to this 10-day moving average. You see on the 21st here, I shorted at 77.84, and I did cover this one before the weekend. But I'm going to jump back in probably on this one. There we go. It shows it. Yeah, that's where I started to short it. And what did I do? I waited until it came up to that 21-day line, and now it doesn't look like it held that 21-day line. So I'm going to probably short at the 10-day line this time around. So hopefully we'll get a rally to the 10-day line, and then I think it'll break down even more. This is Lennar. That's the name of this one. So that kind of gives you a look see on that. Let's take some other questions. Thank you. Thank you for waiting, Jose. Appreciate it. News of semiconductors beginning to ship out today. Okay, that's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, here we go. Hey, Jim, take a look at SE. Okay, how's it doing, Roman? Let's see. All right, let's go over here to SE. Let's see if we can analyze it. Now, again, I am net short. I am not long anything in the market currently. Why? Because the market is moving lower. This is C Limited. This was a really good stock, basically right at for quite a while. But as you can see, unfortunately, we're in a downwards trend. I don't think this is going to give us an opportunity to get into it, especially not in this environment. The question is, would I short this one? Well, probably not. I'm probably not going to do anything here. So here's the thing. I don't think this is just not looking very, very good. In this kind of market, this thing is probably going to move lower. That's my guess. It's got a relative strength of 7, so this is underperforming the market. So I just think that you need to sell this one. If you've got this one and you're in a money losing position, I think you just have to sell it. Not something you want to be doing. Not something that is very exciting, I know, but you want to sell this one. I just don't think it's going to get better, at least not for a while. So, kind of bad thing to do. Again, I am completely right now. I am in cash totally, all my portfolios except for my shorts, and currently the only short that I have currently put on today is Lululemon. So that's kind of the situation there. All right, Jose, thank you. I am looking for a long entry into Tesla, but would wait for a good bull confirmation. Absolutely. I think it's what you got to wait for. I think you're very smart about that, Jose. You got to wait on this one. Unfortunately, we don't have you don't want to buy Tesla in a lagging market like we are now. I'm not saying it's going to go away or anything. It's a tremendous stock, but here's the problem with Tesla right now. The market conditions are just not good for Tesla. We've lost strength and we're losing more strength. It's still got a pretty strong relative strength at 78, but I think you just got to wait on this one. Unfortunately, as you can see, I was buying it all the way up, but then once it kind of hit there, I was out. Yeah, let's see. You can see you see the chart. You see I was buying and selling all the way up here. Did very well in Tesla um, last year, but I haven't really been that active in it. Why? Because, well, we're in a downward trend, and you don't want to buy a stock like this in a downward trend. So I think you just got to be super careful, and I just don't think it's time. I just don't think it's time for it right now. All right. A spider puts. Okay, so puts on the spider. That's kind of an interesting, good strategy. So let's look at this SPY, and of course, for everybody out there, the spider is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, and by buying puts you can short it. Now, here's the thing about puts. And you gotta be careful with puts because potentially it could reverse on you and go to the moon. That's probably not gonna happen here, but, the problem with naked puts is that they typically, the problem with naked puts is that, sometimes they can get out of control. I prefer spreads, using spreads rather than puts because of the issue. But what you can do, and this is probably what I will do if the selling intensifies, is I will just short the spider directly. I'll borrow the shares and then sell them. I haven't done that yet, but I do think that we're going to definitely see, and I've been talking about this for a while, how we're going to see probably the spider. I think we can move down to at least um, 30, at least 20, 320. So let me just kind of put this up. Let's see if I can do this. and show you why I think this is in the case. I'm going to go over here to the monthly chart, and this is going to kind of give us a little bit of a high elevation viewpoint on what's going on here. Right now, the S&P is right about 380 here, but this right here is where the top of the COVID thing, that's just at 340. So I definitely think we're very likely to come down to at least 340 and possibly as low as 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 300. So I'm kind of saying that I'm thinking we're definitely going to 380 on the spider, but we could go to 320. And if we do, then that's quite a bit of that's quite a bit of a movement down. So the question is, how can we make money if that happens? Well, what I'd like to see is a little bit of a rally here. Right now, we're a little bit too far away from the 10-day and the 21-day line. But if we get a rally on the spider up to closer to the 21-day line, I would like to see it almost right on the 21-day line. Now we're a little bit below it. That's where I would potentially short it. I want it to rally to the 21-day line, and then with this overall market condition, that's probably where I'm going to be shorting it. So I'm going to wait for that rally until we can get a rally to the 21-day line, and that's probably where I'm going to be interested in shorting it. By the way, um, if you're looking to short, that's typically in a downward trend. The 21-day line seems to work very, very well for that. So if you can get a rally to the 21-day line in a declining market, that's sometimes one of the best things you can do. Um, can you just short a stock without being a day? Absolutely, absolutely, Matthew. Um, like if we were to short a stock today, yeah, absolutely. It's just like buying a stock. It's like buying a stock. But instead of buying that stock, and I probably need to make a video on this. Instead of buying the stock, what we do is we borrow the shares, we sell them, and then we wait into to cover the shares as they go lower. Now I know it sounds very strange. You think, gosh, how could you do that? Well, you can absolutely do it. You don't have to be a day trader to do this. You do not have to be a day trader. You do need a level 3 options account, and I use TD Ameritrade. I'm very familiar with them. So what you need is a level 3 options account. Short, and I'm gonna probably try to oops, too short. Now, the reason a lot of people will use puts is that first of all, there's a lot of leverage on puts. Here's the thing: sometimes I don't want to use as much. I don't want to use if you're buying a put. You remember you're controlling 100 shares. There's many times I don't want that much exposure in my account. For instance, I don't want to be short in any one position more than one full position in my account. So if you have, for instance, let's say you have an $8,000 account that you can short. Now, probably it's going to be a little bit more than this, but let's say you have an $8,000 account that you want to short. Well, one full position would be $8,000. So if I were to buy this long, I would buy $1,000 worth of stock. If I were to sell it short, I would sell up to $1,000 of stock. No more than that. Why? Because I want to protect myself. I want to protect myself. The problem with puts is that first of all they have specific expirations, and secondly, they can they can be too large. The reason they can wipe you out is because they have too much. You have too much exposure. The key in shorting is limiting your exposure. So what I like to do is I like to do a calculation of the exposure, just like I was going long, but on the short side. So you definitely can do this, by the way. And I need to show a little bit more information on that. Okay, with a margin account. Oh yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Thanks, Roman. Thanks for putting that out there. Yeah. So it really is. It's a very viable way to make money in a downtrend. Instead of looking for patterns going higher, you're looking for patterns that are going lower. So it's a very good thing, and I need to put out more information on it. Um, well, you hit your targets, 29K, Dow Jones. Yeah, okay. So we're in the protection. Oh boy, that's a tough one. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Charles. Thank you very, very much. Um, you know what? I don't know. I do think that oil is going to moderate. Um, let's. That's a good question. Let me just see. Let me get in. Let me see about oil. I definitely think oil is going to moderate, but it's not going to moderate all that much. So let's look at the price of oil. What I'm doing here is I'm looking at the um, yeah, there we go, crude oil, and I'm looking at the crude oil chart here. So let's bump on over to that. There we go. So here's the crude oil chart, and let's click on over so everyone can see that on TikTok. There we go. So what we're doing is that we're talking about oil right now, and what's happening with oil. Interestingly enough, we had an interesting thing happen. This is the what they call the death cross. So definitely, I think we're going to see oil go a little bit lower. But but if we just do a if we just look at it for, let's see, you're looking at the holidays. Okay, October. So I do think though it's going to bounce, and I think it's going to bounce. The price of oil is likely to bounce. I think it's, 85 would be 66. So definitely there is a, yeah, I think we could see a bounce at 75. I really believe that based on this. Very interesting. No, I definitely think the price of oil is going to go down. Um, it is going down here. It's definitely been moving lower. As we could see, I mean, it was basing September. We were all up. We're up here at 97, and we've moved down. Now, I'm looking for some support. I'm seeing some support at about um, 85. So we're below 85 right now. I think we're going to get some. I think we're going to get some support at 85. That's my guess. And then why am I saying that? Well, the reason I'm saying that is because that was the high back in October. And so there definitely is some support there. There's also support at about 62. I don't think we're going to go as low as 62, but I think we're going to see support at about 85. So that's my guess by the by the holidays. So we probably should be getting out of some of the oils right now. But so crude oil support at about 85 is what I think is going to happen by December. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Um, I think we're going to see some support right about 85. Now we're below 85 right now. Currently we're at 78, but I definitely think we're going to see some support at 85. And the reason we're going to see some support, I believe, at 85 is because of this high here. Looking at the charts, you'll notice that we are getting. Let's see, we are getting some selling coming in. So let's look at the 30-minute chart here on West. This is what I'm looking. Oh, it doesn't give me West Texas. Oh, there we go. Because it gives me monthly. This is the monthly chart, so this is a little bit better. We're looking at the daily chart. Um, this is kind of where I see some support coming in here. Um, this is kind of right, about 80, 85, right in this area is where I see some support. I think we're going to get a bounce here, likely, because I do think that we are coming up now. This is back. This low was way back here. This was under. This was basically. This is basically under under Trump, and as you can see, as Biden came in, we've steadily moved up. This is basically. Let's look at that on the weekly. Looking at the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart for oil. Um, so we came in. Yeah. So see, this is the definite floor here, but I think that we're going to have some support right about here. That's my guess. And I do think we're going to start to see this move higher. So my guess, about 85 by about 85 by December. So that's what I'm looking at. All right. Okay. Here we go. I was gonna look in a Ninja Trader because they do micro futures. Also, do know of. I don't think Ninja Trader is a level. I don't think it's a level 3 platform. I think just go to just go to TD Ameritrade. I mean, I think that's the best bet. They have Thinkorswim. It's a great platform for trading options or shorting, and they have and it's free. I mean, the software is free, and just watch my channel. I mean, we're gonna be doing some shorting here. Instead, Matthew. I mean, don't um, the option the level three. It's just that's true in every account. So you're level three in just about every account there. All right. Well, great. Well, I hope you're getting. Um, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put out more information on shorting. I mean, shorting is a big mystery for a lot of people, but it's really not that complicated. There's a few things that we got to look at when we're shorting. We got to cut our losses much quicker, and we need to do it in a downward trending market, which we're in. Soon we have to think set up, but we can short just as easily as we can go long. So there you go. What was driving the medicals and pharma? You know what? That's a good question. And what uh, um, what Charles is talking about here is we have. Let's go with this. I get them in there. Yeah, what Charles is talking about here is that these are the sector leaders for today. So it's kind of weird. I mean, we have Comstock Research. These are all the oils are down, right? And then the farms are up. I think this is really the healthcare. The reason that healthcare is doing this is because this is a defensive sector. And but I don't think there's any place to hide. I don't think even the defensive sectors are not going to do as well. That's one of the reasons that they are going up. But this is also a place, believe it or not, to look for shorts in this kind of market. So when we're doing when we're looking for shorts, and I'm going to be doing some screens on that and hopefully getting it out to everybody. But what we're looking for are former leaders that have started to break down. That's where you get your best bang for your buck. That's where you get. That's one of the reasons why I was in Lennar. That's one a short. Now I've closed it, and also in Lulu. Why? Because these are former leaders that are starting to break down with the market, and that's kind of the mo of shorting. Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot more on that. But thank you, Beth, for all those questions. All right, Jay, what's the likely path for Costco? Good question, Jay. Now, if you've been watching me, you know that um, I did short Costco and I closed the short. Um, but I think Costco's going lower. Now I closed it on Friday. I typically close shorts over the weekend because they're a little bit more volatile. You don't really want to hold them over the weekend. But let's go to look at Costco. This is really a fascinating stock, in my opinion, because I think it gives us a lot of opportunity. And one of the reasons it's giving us opportunity, and this is we're looking here. Let's go. Thank everybody on TikTok, and I'm not showing that, but let's show everybody on TikTok what I'm talking about here, and that is this stock. Now, currently, after hours, we're at 480. We're at 480.41. Now, you notice how it came down. It got some support, and it came back up. Now, my guess is it's going to bounce up, and then it's going to bounce once back down. So I'm going over here to the daily chart. Okay, there we go. I'm going over here to the daily chart. Hopefully, we'll get that in a second. There we go. You notice how Costco. Now I shorted it basically there. I closed it on Friday. Now I've let it come back up. But and if it gets close enough to this 10-day line, that's where I'm going to short it. If it comes within 5% of that line, that's where I'm going to short it. Now I'm pretty close also to that my very favorite 21 day line. Typically, if we're in a pattern like this and we're within about 5% of that 21 day line, this is where I like to short it. So possibly tomorrow, and I'm going to see how it opens. I'm going to be shorting Costco again because what's happening is we are rallying. We're trying to this stock is trying to rally back up to it's trying to rally back up to the 21 day line. That's right here, but it's not gonna be able to hold it. As you can see, it was able to hold it here and here, but I don't think it's gonna have enough power to hold it here. What we wanna do is we want it to rally like it has, and then we wanna get it as close to that 10-day or that 21-day line, and then we wanna reopen the short. And the reason we want to is because the trend, the trend on Costco is down. Look at that. The trend on Costco is down. Now, I think that we have a floor, and that floor is right here at about 443. So my guess is we can play around with this. So you can see that cup down there. It potentially, I think, can move to below 450. Now, I would probably close well before that, but I think we're going to get a little bit of juice here. I think we can get it to come all the way down to about 450 before we close the short. So what I think is going to rally, and then it's going to go continue on this path down. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Costco. It's definitely on deck for me. The reason I like it, it's a big stock. I think retail sales are going to be very impacted, unfortunately, with what's going on. And I think it's likely to rally. And if it rallies, I'm probably short because overall market the overall market is short. So if this bucks the trend, as you can see, it's trying to buck the trend. See, it came up here to 76, but I think if it doesn't get to 80, then then it's shortable. If it's at 80, it's shortable because what's happening is it's coming down and then it's moving up and then down and moving up and down, moving up. So that's kind of the general overall pattern for Costco. And of course, Costco is one of the very, very premier stocks. We're taking less risk because we've already come through earnings. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with some more shorts and I think it's a good idea not to be buying anything long right now. I agree with you. This comment that I got from TikTok. It's a good idea not to buy anything long right now. It's the kind of the two positions we want to be in. We want to be short or we want to be in cash. That's sort of where we want to be right now. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow at 5. If you're not already a member of the Action Trailers, I'm going to try to put some stuff out to people as much as I can. I don't know if anything's coming out tonight, but so just go to www Dallas Trading Floor and just sign up for that, and it's free. We also do have a Discord room, though, where we're going to go probably more into depth, probably on shorting and that kind of thing and go from there. Also, if you haven't already liked our show, please do so because it really helps us out a lot, and we get out to a lot of people. So please like the show. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube. Also, if you're on TikTok as well. So until tomorrow at 5, everybody, happy trading. Hope everything's going well. You want to be, I think, in cash right now, primarily, and then we're going to start shorting the market as it starts moving lower. So I'll be back tomorrow at 5. Happy trading.